friends, this is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I've actually been waiting a long time to make this video. I had to make a video that talks about the specific ships that we could be getting in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Now, I'm going to go from least likely to most likely. I am unfortunately leaving out the Alphabet Squadron since while they are officially canon, they aren't like it's not a lot of hype just yet, and they haven't been officially added to a film or a TV show, right? So that being said, this is specifically towards those vehicles, those squads that are in film or TV. And you can probably imagine where I'm going with this. But first off, we have to take a look at the Cobalt Squadron. Now, Cobalt Squad was one of the books that is probably like the least effective book in the new canon of all of the other new canons. I read it hoping beyond hope that I would have a deeper understanding and more compassion for Rose Tico, and I was left wanting. Again, kind of a frustrating character. She's very timid throughout the whole series. Then we see episode 9 and she's like confident. I don't know. It's bad writing for me, but I don't like the character. They have a pretty cool set of ships. You have Star Fortresses, the MG-100 Star Fortress. These are really cool ships, and it's the thing that essentially blows up in the second film, right? In The Last Jedi. It's the thing is they're trying to get away from Dakar. These are the ones that kind of flow in or fly in, and it's like, boom, we explode. Having that type of bomber would be awesome. And it would be something that would decimate. One of the things that it could do is like remove all protection regardless of whatever. I think that would be really cool. Who could it be? Who could be a pilot? I think it'd be cool to see a Paige Tico being added. She was a great pilot. Or we could just see it not being added with a pilot. I mean, that's a whole thing there. But the the MG-100 Star Fortress would be really cool. Now, again, the Cobalt Squadron was predominantly made up of those fortresses. I mean, they're predominantly made up of bombers, right? So getting one from Cobalt would be cool. So I don't think that we would necessarily need all of them, but just one would be sweet. Now, next up, and this is the one that I think is more likely than any others, is the Aces from Star Wars Resistance. Now, Star Wars Resistance doesn't have the greatest following. It is only going to be around for 2 seasons, which is interesting. I mean, if you look at Rebels, Rebels was around for 2 seasons before it really found its legs and a fandom. Star Wars Resistance hasn't been given that shot just yet. And so right now it's, I don't know, it's all over the place. Not a lot of people love it. And it is being finished after season 2. So we'll see what comes next. But there's a lot of really cool characters here that we could see. And the ships are diverse enough that it would be unique. You've got different types of ships. There's one ex-Imperial who it would be cool to see him both having the Imperial tag and the Aces tag, although that's not, what he is. But he flies this weird X-Wing hybrid. But they're all unique ships, and they all have their different things. I think it would be really cool. Now, do we need all of them? I'd like all of them, just simply because we don't really have a whole ton of resistant ships just yet. So the more the merrier, obviously. But it would be cool to see those. Now, we could also see additional what would be cool though is to actually see some of these characters actually introduced. I wouldn't mind seeing Jarek Yeager introduced. I wouldn't mind seeing Hype Phazon or Kazuda Xiono or some of those the more prominent characters. That would make sense to me. I think that would be really interesting and really cool. But at the same time, do we need all of them? Probably not. Now, this is where I think that we are going to get the most bang for our buck. This is where I think we're going to be getting the most characters from, and that is from Black Squadron. Now, Black Squadron is Poe Dameron's squadron before he, makes Commander Dameron before he becomes whatever. It's essentially the one that we see in the comic books, but also it's the backstory given to those characters that we see in episode 8, episode 7, even episode 9. These are the characters that we put a face to, and you have Poe Dameron clearly, and then Tim and Wexley. This is Snap Wexley. This is the big, heavier set guy. He is awesome. I love. He's in the Aftermath books. They call him Snap in. They call him Timon in the Aftermath books. He's Snap in once he joins the Resistance. I've talked about him a lot. Snap is a great character. I would love to see Snap with his murder droid, Mr. Bones. I'm not expecting that at all. Snap was a commanding officer of Black Squadron, right? When Poe wasn't around, Snap was his number 2, right? His wingman, if you will. But then underneath you have Surlinder Javos, Kari Kun, Lulu Lampar, Adi Muvar, Jessica Pava, and Tim and obviously Snap. They fly A-Wings, they fly X-Wing starfighters, they fly Y-Wings. There's a bunch of stuff here, right? Now, we already have those types of ships in the game. It would make sense just to, recolor them, reimagine them, redesign them a little bit, and then give us these characters. Now, these characters are also, I think, very viable characters for the game. Not necessarily the most amazing characters. I would love to see, obviously, Timon. I would love to see Adi Muva. He's this weird looking face guy. He's a Abonito, but to me that doesn't look like any Abonito I've ever seen. But maybe the Abonitos you've met look different. Lulu is cool. He's a Duros, and as much as I love this game, we have a lot of human characters. Now, we have other characters in the game, too. We don't necessarily have an Abonito. You might be able to argue that there's 1 or 2 in the game, but I honestly can't think of any at the moment. We've got humans, and then the most unique would probably be the one who flies the Y-Wing. She is a Squamatan, a female. This character is actually really interesting because she is a former journalist who goes on the offensive and becomes, part of the Black Squadron. It's a really cool story, and it's a really cool character. And so I'd love to see these characters added to the game and their ships. And again, simply because their ships are reskins of ships we already have, I think it would make the most sense. Now, additionally, we need to see Poe Dameron's ship slightly reworked. I think he's good, but I think that he could be better. Or maybe he's good, but based off of the other ship characteristics. I think with Poe's current ship, I think it's okay, but the other ships in the Black Squadron, in the Resistance, need to somehow either bolster him or make him Mo Betta, which is not just a Hawaiian place in Utah, which is delicious. I love the idea of a rework for his ship, but more than that, I love a new X-Wing for Poe. Now, this would be for Commander or Resistance Hero Poe, not just for the old Poe, right? This would be a new ship for Resistance Hero Poe, and I think that would be really cool. Now, we've had the marquee event, and eventually we'll be getting him into farmable locations. This would be awesome. Now, the last character, and I've said this many, many times, this character could and should be added to the game. I just went to Disneyland and went on the Ride of the Resistance, the Rise of the Resistance ride, and you can check out that video here in the link below. But I think Nine Nub needs to be added. Now, Nine Nub needs to be added as both a Resistance character and a Rebel character. I think he should have both Resistance and Rebel, but only fly a Resistance ship. That would be really cool and a great way to connect this. Now, why do I think this is even a thing? Well, if you look at the February login, character login reward, it is the Resistance pilot. And so from time to time they do this, and these characters mean something. From time to time they mean nothing. I think this is indicative of something that's coming, and I think they're going to be focusing on ships in the month of February. They've already mentioned that these two ships, specifically the Radis, is coming soon. And would they just going to give us more information about it? I would expect a kit release sometime later this week, and I would expect some, if not most, of these ships to be added to the Resistance. Otherwise, we just don't have enough to have a full Resistance squad. And since their focus is on the sequel trilogy now, it just makes sense to have those ships added. Inferno Squadron would be a great addition. I would love to see Alphabet Squadron, but I just don't see either of those two coming just yet. Inferno Squadron potentially could come when they are introduced in the season 2 of The Mandalorian, because that is going to be introduced in season 2 of The Mandalorian. But I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of potential here, and we shall see. But what do you guys think? Leave a comment in the section below. Like, subscribe, share, and tell me what you guys really think, what ships you'd like to see, how you would like the ships to change to make this more viable, to make ships even a more viable area. Now, finally, guys, if you would like to help the channel and help yourselves at the same time, check out the links below. I have 2 free audiobooks for Audible. There are some really good sequel trilogy audiobooks out there, or Star Wars audiobooks out there. I mentioned Alphabet Squadron. Inferno Squad is a great book. Both of them revolve around pilots. Both of them revolve around the sequel trilogy. And there's a lot of potential there. And it's great storytelling. Sign up for an Audible. You get 1 month free trial. You get 2 free audiobooks, plus all of the other like little amenities they have. There's a lot of really cool stuff that they have. But every time you sign up, you help me out a little bit. And you get to read awesome books. Now, if you don't like these books and you want something else, there's some stuff there. But this has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, my friends, smile and stay nerdy.